Summary of Slow Productivity, a deep dive into Cal Newport's new philosophy and case study. Introduction. Slow Productivity, the Lost Art of Accomplishment Without Burnout, focusing on its main themes and key takeaways. The problem: modern productivity is broken. Slow productivity, which argues against the modern notion of pseudo-productivity, where knowledge workers are pressured to be constantly busy and productive without actually achieving meaningful results. The text outlines a philosophy of slow productivity based on 3 principles: doing fewer things, working at a natural pace, and obsessing over quality. The author challenges the idea that productivity in knowledge work needs to be defined by visible activity and frantic effort, instead emphasizing the value of deliberate, focused effort, taking time for reflection and rest, and striving for high-quality output. The text uses historical examples of great thinkers, artists, and entrepreneurs like John McPhee, Marie Curie, Anthony Zuiker, Jane Austen, and Jack Kerouac to illustrate the benefits of a slower, more thoughtful approach to work. The author also provides practical strategies for implementing slow productivity in modern workplaces, including time blocking, limiting the number of projects taken on, scheduling quiet seasons, and improving one's taste in order to achieve greater quality. The overall purpose of the passage is to encourage readers to rethink traditional notions of productivity and embrace a more mindful, sustainable approach to knowledge work. Newport argues that our current understanding of productivity, particularly in knowledge work, is flawed. We conflate busyness with effectiveness, prioritizing visible activity over meaningful output. This is driven by vague definitions. Unlike fields like agriculture or manufacturing, knowledge work lacks clear productivity metrics, leading to a focus on surface-level busyness. It's hard to overemphasize how unusual it is that an economic sector as large as knowledge work lacks useful standard definitions of productivity. The digital intensity, the constant influx of emails, messages, and virtual meetings creates a frenetic pace, leaving little room for focused, deep work. The digital intensity fuels a culture of reactivity and urgency. The cult of busyness: society rewards those who appear constantly busy, perpetuating a cycle of exhaustion and shallow work. The solution: embrace slow productivity. Newport proposes a 3-pronged approach to reclaiming control and achieving true productivity. 1. Do fewer things. Focus on a limited number of missions. Dedicating your energy to too many objectives leads to overwhelm and diluted effort. Moving in the other direction, it's hard to maintain 5 or more missions without the feeling you're drowning in unavoidable work. Limit daily goals. Working on a single important project per day allows for deeper focus and more substantial progress. Contain the small. Tame the onslaught of administrative tasks through strategies like autopilot scheduling, synchronization, and delegation. Embrace pull-based workflow. Instead of reacting to every incoming request, strategically select projects from a holding tank, giving yourself ample time and control. 2. Work at a natural pace. Extend timelines. Double your initial project estimates to avoid the pressure of unrealistic deadlines and allow for a more sustainable pace. Schedule slow seasons. Create periods of reduced workload to recharge, explore new ideas, and return to projects with fresh perspectives. Embrace a shorter work year. Consider negotiating extended breaks or incorporating seasonal escapes to break free from the relentless grind. Work poetically. Design your work environment and rituals to foster creativity and focus. 3. Obsess over quality. Improve your taste. Immerse yourself in fields beyond your expertise to gain inspiration and refine your understanding of quality. Bet on yourself. Make significant investments of time, money, or social capital to raise the stakes and fuel your drive to produce exceptional work. Embrace a slower pace. Recognize that true quality often requires time and patience to develop, resisting the urge to rush the process. Examples of slow productivity in action. Newport highlights numerous individuals who have embraced elements of slow productivity to achieve remarkable results, including Jane Austen. The renowned novelist thrived in environments that offered stability and minimized distractions, allowing her to focus on crafting her literary masterpieces. Benjamin Franklin, by strategically delegating administrative tasks, Franklin freed himself to pursue groundbreaking scientific research and make significant contributions to society. Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator of Hamilton, patiently developed his work over years, incorporating diverse influences and embracing a slow but steady creative process. Jewel, the singer-songwriter, defied industry pressure to capitalize on her early success, choosing instead to prioritize her artistic vision and maintain control over her career. Key takeaways. Slow productivity challenges us to rethink our relationship with work, advocating for a more intentional and sustainable approach. By prioritizing meaningful output over superficial busyness, we can reclaim our time, reduce stress, and unlock our full creative potential. Principle number 1: do fewer things. The power of doing less. In his book Slow Productivity, Cal Newport introduces the principle of do fewer things as a cornerstone of achieving meaningful work without succumbing to burnout. This principle emphasizes the counterintuitive idea that by reducing your workload and focusing on a smaller number of tasks, you can actually achieve better results. Newport challenges the prevailing notion that equates busyness with productivity, arguing that overwhelm often hinders quality and creativity. He uses the analogy of an overhead tax to illustrate how juggling multiple tasks can significantly reduce the actual time and energy devoted to meaningful work. The principle of do fewer things is not about accomplishing less, but about intentionally prioritizing what truly matters. By streamlining your obligations, you can work at a more sustainable pace and dedicate more focused attention to your most important projects. The sources provide 3 compelling examples of individuals who successfully implemented the principle of do fewer things in their professional lives. 1. Jane Austen. The famed author, Jane Austen, initially struggled with writing while balancing a busy social life. However, once she moved to the peaceful Chawton cottage, her workload decreased, and she was able to dedicate more focused time to her writing. This period of reduced busyness coincided with the publication of her most celebrated works, including Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Emma. 2. Andrew Wiles. Mathematician Andrew Wiles, famous for proving Fermat's last theorem, employed a systematic approach to simplify his workload. He abandoned any work not directly related to his mission and developed strategies to minimize distractions, such as working from home and strategically publishing smaller research pieces. This laser-like focus allowed him to dedicate significant time and mental energy to solving the complex theorem. 3. Jason, the law professor. A law professor named Jason shared his experience of narrowing his focus to dedicate his energy to a single, important case. By prioritizing this case over other academic pursuits, he was able to produce work of exceptional quality that garnered significant recognition and advanced his career. This example highlights how focusing on fewer tasks can lead to more meaningful and impactful results. These examples demonstrate how doing less can be a catalyst for greater accomplishments, both in terms of quantity and quality. By embracing the principle of do fewer things, you can create a more sustainable and rewarding work life, free from the constant pressure of an overflowing to-do list. Reducing your workload can have several positive consequences, including increased focus. By limiting distractions and concentrating on a smaller number of projects, you can allocate more sustained attention to each, fostering deeper thinking and better results. Improved quality. A slower, less frantic pace allows for greater care and consideration, leading to higher quality outcomes. The sources provide examples of individuals who, by simplifying their workload, were able to produce work they were genuinely proud of. Reduced burnout. The sources underscore that a perpetually overflowing task list contributes to stress, anxiety, and ultimately burnout. By doing fewer things, you can create a more sustainable work rhythm, improving your well-being and long-term productivity. Strategies for doing fewer things. The sources present various strategies to help individuals reduce their workload and focus on what matters most. Limit missions. Identify the overarching goals or services that drive your professional life and consciously reduce them to a manageable number, ideally 2 or 3. This helps prevent your efforts from becoming spread too thin. Limit projects. Carefully consider which projects to accept, prioritizing those that align with your core missions and have a minimal task footprint, meaning they won't generate an excessive number of smaller tasks and administrative burdens. Limit daily goals. Focus on working on one major project per day, allowing for deeper immersion and reducing the fragmentation of your attention. Contain the small. Implement strategies to minimize the impact of unavoidable small tasks. The sources suggest techniques like autopilot schedule. Assign specific times for recurring tasks, reducing cognitive overhead. Synchronization. Replace asynchronous communication with real-time conversations to clarify tasks and reduce back-and-forth messaging. Making others work more. Introduce systems like reverse task lists, requiring colleagues to be more specific about their requests and reducing your administrative burden. Avoiding task engines. Be mindful of projects that are likely to generate a high volume of tasks and prioritize those with a lower task footprint. Invest money. Spend money strategically on tools or services that can reduce your workload, such as software subscriptions or hiring assistants. Principle number 2, work at a natural pace. A more human pace. Slow productivity advocates for a shift in how we perceive and approach work, encouraging a move away from the frenetic pace of modern productivity culture towards a more natural, sustainable rhythm. The sources introduce work at a natural pace as the second principle of this philosophy, challenging the assumption that constant urgency and busyness are essential for achieving meaningful results. The sources highlight the historical example of renowned scientists like Marie Curie, Galileo, and Isaac Newton, who, despite working in eras without the pressures of modern technology or management practices, made groundbreaking discoveries that shaped human understanding. These individuals often adopted a more deliberate and varied work pace, embracing periods of intense focus interspersed with intervals of rest and reflection. They were less concerned with maximizing daily output and more focused on achieving significant breakthroughs over extended periods. This principle challenges the modern tendency to evaluate work solely based on short-term outputs and encourages a more holistic perspective. Instead of viewing every day as a race to complete an ever-growing to-do list, the sources propose a more measured approach, allowing for a more natural ebb and flow of energy and focus. The examples from the sources illustrate the principle of work at a natural pace in action. 1. Marie Curie. The celebrated scientist, known for her pioneering work in radioactivity, often incorporated extended periods of rest and reflection into her work rhythm. After intense periods of research, Curie would retreat to her summer home, taking long walks and engaging in activities that allowed her to recharge and return to her work with renewed focus. Her approach demonstrates the value of incorporating intentional breaks to prevent burnout and sustain long-term productivity. 2. Lin-Manuel Miranda. The renowned playwright and composer behind acclaimed musicals like Hamilton and In the Heights frequently emphasizes the importance of embracing a longer timeline for creative projects. Miranda spent years developing In the Heights, allowing the story and music to evolve organically through experimentation and collaboration. He didn't shy away from investing time in seemingly unrelated pursuits, like freestyle rapping with his group, Freestyle Love Supreme, recognizing that these experiences could indirectly contribute to his creative growth and inform his main projects. 3. Basecamp. The software company, Basecamp, known for its progressive work culture, has instituted a formal policy of working in cycles. Each cycle lasts 6 to 8 weeks, during which teams focus on specific, high-priority goals. Crucially, each cycle is followed by a mandatory 2-week cool-down period, allowing employees to rest, recharge, and address smaller tasks before embarking on the next cycle. This structured approach to seasonality ensures that employees avoid prolonged periods of intense work and maintain a more sustainable rhythm, leading to higher quality output and improved well-being. These examples demonstrate that embracing a more natural pace doesn't equate to laziness or lack of ambition. Instead, it recognizes the importance of working in a way that aligns with human rhythms, incorporating periods of intense effort with intervals of rest and allowing for a more sustainable and fulfilling approach to work. By rejecting the constant pressure of urgency and embracing a more deliberate pace, we can cultivate a work life that fosters both productivity and well-being. Principle number 3, obsess over quality. Hashtag obsessing over quality, a path to slow productivity. The sources highlight the importance of obsess over quality as the third principle of the slow productivity philosophy. It emphasizes the importance of prioritizing the quality of your work over quantity, even if it means sacrificing short-term gains or opportunities. This principle challenges the prevailing mindset of prioritizing speed and efficiency, arguing that a relentless focus on quality not only leads to better results but also indirectly enables a slower, more sustainable work pace. The sources explain that when you genuinely commit to producing high-quality work, a natural slowness emerges as a necessary component of the process. This is because achieving true quality requires careful consideration, experimentation, and a willingness to invest the time needed to refine and perfect your craft. Furthermore, the sources argue that obsessing over quality can ultimately grant you more freedom and control over your professional life. When you consistently deliver exceptional work, you build a reputation that allows you to be more selective about the projects you take on and the clients you work with. This, in turn, enables you to shape your work life in a way that aligns with your values and priorities, further supporting a slower, more intentional approach to productivity. Here are 5 examples from the sources that showcase the principle of obsess over quality in action. Hashtag 1. Jewel. Singer-songwriter Jewel's rise to fame illustrates the power of prioritizing artistic integrity over immediate commercial success. Early in her career, she was offered a $1 million signing bonus by Atlantic Records, but she turned it down, recognizing that her music wasn't yet at the level she aspired to. This decision allowed her to continue honing her craft, performing at small venues and focusing on developing her songwriting skills. Eventually, her dedication to quality paid off, leading to the release of her critically acclaimed debut album, Pieces of You, which sold over 15 million copies. Hashtag 2. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs' return to Apple in 1997 and subsequent turnaround of the company exemplifies the transformative impact of prioritizing quality over quantity. Upon reassuming leadership, Jobs drastically simplified Apple's sprawling product line, focusing on producing a smaller number of devices of exceptional quality and design. This strategic shift not only streamlined production and reduced costs but also helped revitalize Apple's brand image and solidify its reputation for innovation. Hashtag 3. Chris, the consultant. Chris, a consultant featured in the sources, discovered that a commitment to delivering high-quality work for his clients necessitated a change in his team's work habits. He implemented policies that reduced distractions and encouraged focused work, such as limiting email to specific times and instituting a mandatory 3-hour deep work period each afternoon. This dedication to quality not only improved the team's output but also allowed them to work at a more sustainable pace, reducing burnout and enhancing job satisfaction. Hashtag 4. Paul Jarvis. Designer and author Paul Jarvis, based in Tofino, Canada, built a successful freelance career by prioritizing quality and craftsmanship over scaling his business for maximum profit. He intentionally limits the number of clients he works with and projects he takes on, ensuring that he can dedicate the time and attention needed to produce exceptional results. This focus on quality has allowed him to build a loyal clientele and command premium rates, affording him the freedom to work at a slower pace and enjoy a balanced lifestyle. Hashtag 5. Stephenie Meyer. Author Stephenie Meyer's journey in writing the Twilight series exemplifies the power of dedication and commitment to a creative project. While raising young children, Meyer carved out time from her busy schedule to write, often working late at night or during brief moments of free time. Driven by her passion for the story, she bet on herself, consistently writing even when progress felt slow. This unwavering dedication to her craft eventually paid off, leading to the publication of a best-selling series that captivated readers worldwide. These examples demonstrate that prioritizing quality is not merely an idealistic pursuit, it is a pragmatic strategy for achieving lasting success and creating a more sustainable and fulfilling work life. By focusing on doing a smaller number of things exceptionally well, you can cultivate a reputation for excellence, gain greater control over your schedule, and ultimately escape the frenetic cycle of pseudo-productivity. Here are some additional facts and ideas from the book. 1. Connect do fewer things to knowledge work productivity challenges. Highlight the limitations of traditional productivity metrics in knowledge work. Your source material emphasizes that traditional productivity measures, like those used in manufacturing, don't translate well to knowledge work. This is because knowledge work often involves complex, multifaceted tasks with less tangible outputs. But then the knowledge sector emerged as a major force in the mid-20th century, and this profitable dependence on crisp, quantitative, formal notions of productivity all but vanished. Emphasize the prevalence of pseudo-productivity. Newport argues that this lack of clear metrics leads to a reliance on pseudo-productivity, where busyness and visible activity are mistaken for actual effectiveness. This can further explain why knowledge workers feel pressured to take on more tasks, even if it hinders their true productivity. As the 20th century progressed, this visible activity heuristic became the dominant way we began thinking about productivity in knowledge work. 2. Deepen the discussion on the benefits of slowing down. Link to the slow movement. Connect Newport's slow productivity to the broader slow movement, which advocates for a more mindful and sustainable approach to various aspects of life. Mentioning movements like slow food, slow cities, and slow medicine can enrich the context and demonstrate that a slower pace is a valuable concept in various domains. Slow food, slow cities, slow medicine, slow schooling, slow media, slow cinema. All movements built on the radical but effective strategy of offering people a slower, more sustainable alternative to modern busyness that draws from time-tested wisdom. Highlight the scientific basis for working at a natural pace. Strengthen the argument for a varied work rhythm by referencing research on the natural ebb and flow of human energy levels. Drawing parallels between the work patterns of traditional knowledge workers, like the scientists mentioned, and the activity patterns of hunter-gatherer societies can add a compelling anthropological layer. 3. Explore the challenges and solutions of saying no. Acknowledge the difficulty of saying no in a culture of busyness. While advocating for doing fewer things, acknowledge the pressure many knowledge workers face to appear busy and responsive. This can make it difficult to decline additional tasks. There exists a myth that it's hard to say no, whether to someone else or to your own ambition. Provide practical strategies for limiting workload. Offer actionable advice from the source material, such as setting clear boundaries, using time-tracking data to justify workload limitations, and implementing pull-based workflows where tasks are taken on only when capacity allows. The key is to harness the stark motivation generated by the need for a pursuit to really work out. Thank you for listening. I hope this content is useful to you. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support our team.